All right, we're back. We are going to continue our talk on Study Guide for Unit 2, Ratios and Proportions. And we're still going to discuss RP2, but this time we're going to talk more specifically about unit price. Now this unit price really focuses on our confidence levels with dividing decimals. So if you need a review on dividing decimals, make sure you go back through the notes on eClass, but we're going to move forward. So let's say that I go to the store and I want to buy a can of green beans, or I want to buy some cans of green beans. But we have this brand of green beans, labeled G, and we have this can of green beans, which is from the blue can, but also labeled G. So these green beans are from the green can, and these green beans are from the blue can. So for these green beans, they are selling these green beans for, let's say, $3.02 for five cans. And they're selling the blue can of green beans for $1.86 for 3 cans. Now, before we go out and purchase either one of these green beans, we have to figure out, well, which one is the better buy? And the only way we can figure out which one is the better buy, we need to figure out what the unit price of each can is or would be. So for this set of green beans, for the green can, I know that they're charging me $3.02 for 5 cans. So with unit price, remember, it's the same as unit rate. I want to get this to 1 can. So how do I get from 5 to 1? I need to divide by 5. And whenever I do on the bottom, I need to also do on the top. So this is $3.02 divided by 5. Now remember, this can also be written as a fraction. So $3.02 over 5 like we had above. So that means that top dog always goes in the house, or the numerator always goes inside. It's very important. 3.02 goes inside and 5 goes outside. So with this method, this is different from your partial quotient method or the big 7. You want to take the 5 and ask yourself, well, how many times does 5 go into 3? And of course, 5 does not go into 3, so we place a 0. This is the closest that I can get to 3 without going over. So 5 times 0 is 0. I subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3. And every time I subtract, I bring down my number. So I bring down my next number, which is 30. And one thing we did forget, or one thing that I did forget, was make sure that you bring your decimal up to right here. And let's continue. So now that I brought down my 0, how many times does 5 go into 30? Well, 6 times. So 5 times 6 gives me 30. Subtract. Every time I subtract, I have to bring down a number. So this is 2. Now, do not bring down another number. Remember, the next step is to figure out how many times does 5 go into 2. Well, 5 can't go into 2, so I place a 0 here. 5 times 0 is 0. And I subtract. 2 minus 0 gives me 2. Now, I don't have any other number to bring down, so remember, we annex or add a 0. It doesn't change the value of the number at all. We just need to use the 0. So how many times does 5 go into 20? Well, it is 4. Now at this point we can stop. I want to make sure I give you a review on rounding, because since we're talking about money, we don't usually round money to 3 decimal places. We usually round money to 2 decimal places. So as, if you can remember from elementary school, when we are rounding to a certain place value, so say we're rounding to the nearest hundredth, then we look to the right. If it is 5 or more, we raise the score but if it's 4 or less, we let this place value rest. So this is just going to be 60 cents, or approximately 60 cents for 1 can of the green can of green beans. Now, I want you to pause the video and I want you to try to figure out how much would it be for 1 can of the blue can of green beans. Now we're going to go through this very quickly. Top dog goes in the house. We have $1.86. 3 goes on the outside. 3 cannot go into 1, so this is 0. 0. Subtract 1. Bring up my decimal. Bring down my number. 3 times 6 gives me 18. 18 minus 18 gives me 0. Bring down my 6. 3 times 2. So, we see that for 3 cans of the blue can of green beans, is sell it for 62 cents. So this is 62 cents for 1 can. So it was really close, but we can see that the green can of green beans is actually cheaper than buying the blue can of green beans. And it's only cheaper, let's see, let's place this here, let's place the point 60 here. It's only cheaper if I am buying for 1 can. It seems as though that this $1.86 would be cheaper, but the $1.86 is for 3 cans and the $3.02 is for 5 cans. So if we want to compare the prices to make it easier to see which one is actually cheaper per unit, we need to make sure that we find the unit rate. So 60 cents for 1 can is for the green color can of green beans, and 62 cents is for 1 can for the blue colored can of green beans. There will be one like this on your test. I will be asking you to tell me how much you would save if you bought the cheaper can. Then of course your answer would be that you saved 60 cents and 62 cents. You would be saving 2 cents because 62 minus point. Let's erase this here. So we have, if I wanted to find out which one would be cheaper, 62 cents minus 0.60. Of course, this is 2 cents cheaper, so your answer would be 2 cents if I were asking you how much money would you save buying the cheaper can than the more expensive can.